My name is Jenny, and I am head of the travel franchise division here at Not Just Travel. Now, for tonight's guest, Steve Witt is the co-founder of the travel franchise and Not Just Travel. He's an entrepreneur, innovator, and one of the strategic minds behind everything we do. Steve is very much the mastermind behind the technology, the systems, the operations that power Not Just Travel. Steve, hope you're there. Thank you for joining us. No pressure after that
I
introduction.
was going to say, Jenny, that's a big build up.
Now, people know you as the co-founder of the travel franchise and Not Just Travel, but you had a very interesting start to your career. Long before travel, you started your entrepreneurial journey at 16 and had varied roles, including being a firefighter and a champion windsurfer. How did those early experiences shape your future?
God, it seems like a long time ago now. I can hardly remember back that far. But yeah, I started my entrepreneurial journey because I did very, very well at my GCSEs and then sort of spent more time on the beach than I probably should have done during my A-level sort of phase, and decided I wanted to do sort of make money rather than learn, which I don't necessarily advocate, but that was what I was more excited by at the time. So I had lots of part-time jobs. I was trying different things, and one day I answered an advert in a classified section of the internet, and not the internet, the paper, and it was for starting an import business. And I started importing eyeglass retainers, a very geeky thing to do, but it was brilliant for windsurfing and surfing, and sort of it kept your sunglasses on your head. That was the very first entrepreneurial thing I ever did. And I have to say, I was absolutely rubbish at it. Failed miserably, but I did enjoy the process of failing, if you like, in that respect. But that got me sort of hooked on trying entrepreneurial things. My dad and parents were really supportive of trying these things. All that time I was on the beach, learning to windsurfing every opportunity I could because I live sort of near the beach. And I just got into the habit of going out every single night, practicing, and then got a bit bored of the practicing, so I decided to do something a little bit competitive. I started racing, and that led me to enter a few competitions, and I got a bit of a competitive spirit going. I got the bug for that, and that sort of got me into more competitive racing. And yeah, I became national windsurfing champion many years ago, so that was great. Way before there was any sort of sponsorship deals or those sort of opportunities, but it was fun. I enjoyed the thrill of it. I enjoyed sort of going fast along the water and sort of that sort of bug and enthusiasm of the adrenaline rush. I think that got me into the idea of, well, I really enjoy this, but I need to actually make some money somewhere. So someone suggested they saw an advert at the local fire station that they were looking for firefighters. So I thought I'll go and do that. So I ended up, applying to be a firefighter, got accepted, which was great. And it was only then that I discovered I was scared of heights. When you're up a ladder of a burning building and then suddenly realize you're scared of heights, not the smartest thing, but did that for 5 years. And the great thing about being a firefighter is you have a lot of spare time as well. So during that spare time, I was able to put some of my entrepreneurial skills into practice. I also did a business studies degree part-time at the local university as well. So I sort of try and combine all these skills, the competitive nature of the windsurfing, the following instructions. Being a firefighter, it's very much about routine process. If you do this, you'll be safe. If you do this, this will happen. So I was great at following instructions. And I think those sort of skills combined led me to following some sort of some other people's ideas for how you can create success. And I followed those ideas, and they worked. And I literally did exactly what I was told. And I think that was part of the firefighter discipline in me. Do this, this will happen, this success will come, and it worked. And then that's like, oh, there's something in this. So I got into the habit of following these blueprints for success, and they worked. And I think couple that with the bug of the sort of adrenaline rush of the competitive nature, I then got into the habit of like, well, I'm actually following this success. Let me see who else is successful doing this thing. Great, I want to be better than them. So I did. That's exactly what I did. I just got that competitive bug. I'm only better than that person. I'm just going to follow the recipe, so to speak, and it worked.
It's interesting how that early experience has shaped, the future of where we are today, where you've literally recreated this by building a franchise where people, by following the established system, can then replicate that success and grow, which is fantastic. So what happened after that? Now, you were one of the first people to be involved in the internet before most people even knew what that was at that time. So how did that go about? And was there something in you that told you, there's something in this, the future? Or is it that, I don't know, some inner instinct telling you what business is going to succeed?
Are you trying to make me feel old tonight, Jenny?
Well,
So,
I'm old enough to remember that, so no.
so back in the day, one of the things I did was I started a marketing company for local businesses, and it was very successful because I was following this pattern for success, for helping people create success, local marketing, design, those sort of things. There was a cyber cafe in my local town, got started when there was about 250,000 people in the UK using the internet. That's how long ago it was. I helped them get started, did all their advertising. Loads of people started coming in to see what this internet web thing was all about. And people started saying, how do we get web pages up on this World Wide Web thing? And I have to say, at the time, I didn't have a clue. Okay, so not a clue, but I think there's a great film, Jim Carrey, The Yes Man, and it's basically say yes to everything, and opportunities will come. So that's what I did. I just sort of basically said, I can do that for you. Not a clue how to do it, but I went away and learnt, and very quickly created an internet business designing websites. That led me into web hosting and domain registration back when that wasn't a thing and no one knew about it. So very geeky. But that led me into um, that entrepreneurial spirit of always trying to find solutions to problems when, maybe people didn't realize there was a problem, but I thought there's got to be a better way. So people listening might be old enough to remember a time when you dialed up on the internet with you dialed a phone number and the modem connected, and you paid for your time that we were using the internet. That was long before that always on sort of subscription model we have today. So my company was actually the first company to ever create the monthly subscription internet access. We did it with free phone numbers. You could dial up and be permanently connected with a free phone number, and you paid one monthly fee. And yeah, we were the first ever company to do that. So that got me the bug for being even more creative. That gave me lots of opportunities to, the height of the dot-com bubble, or that time when lastminute.com floated. It was that sort of era. So I grew a very successful internet company, and we invested in loads of different ideas. Back in the day, it was very exciting.
I wonder for how many people actually the difference between success and staying where they are is just literally saying yes to an opportunity rather than not doing anything out of fear.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Um,
absolutely. I think it's just one word difference, but it's so easy to say no, or no, I can't do that. I've never done that before. I've never done most of the, well, there's a first time for everything, isn't there? And unless you say yes to it, you're never going to do it. And it feels nervous, it feels uncomfortable, but ultimately it was just saying yes and then figuring it out later is what worked.
and how did you meet Paul?
So, great question, because if you've met the two of us, he's up there and I'm short in comparison. He's larger than life and I'm the shy retiring one. It's we're chalk and cheese if you meet us. But the reality is, so I built this great internet company. Paul built a very successful direct sales company. We both invested in a friend's business because I was lucky enough to sell my internet company, made a lot of money. Um, as you do, you think you're super successful when you've just sold your company and you've got lots of money. So I probably wasn't being the most sensible I could have been. Invested in various things, one of which was a friend's company, the same company that Paul invested in, and it was an overseas property company. And cutting a long, sad story short, we both lost lots of money. So we both cried on each other's shoulders. And we always say that Paul went into lots of debt over it. I lost lots of money. But if it wasn't for that failure, if you like, we wouldn't have joined forces. We wouldn't have known each other because we didn't know each other before that point. Basically, at the end of that sort of experience, Paul said to me, "Look, I've got nothing. You've got nothing. If you ever fancy doing something together, let's talk." And the rest, as they say, is history.
You started the travel franchise on the 10th of September 2001. So that is just the day before September 11th, where everything would change, the whole world would change, all the flights would stop, and completely unexpected thing would happen. So what did that feel like?
Well, the day before 9/11 felt great. We just signed a contract. We bought a franchise from another company, basically, in fact, what turned into one of our competitors. Um, we were super happy, very excited about the future. The following day, every plane in the world was grounded. If you wanted to travel, you couldn't. It was a terrible, terrible time in many, many ways for a lot of people. If you worked in travel, your entire industry was decimated for a long time. Now, to be fair to the franchise that we bought, they did say to us, "Look, obviously, difficult times right now. You've just bought a franchise. If you want to back out, you can have your money back. We understand." We actually said, "Well, no, we're committed. If we can make a go of it now, we can make a go of it any time. So let's give it a go." And that's what we did. So at a time when every other travel company was going backwards, we had no baseline. We didn't know what we didn't know. So we were just going forward. In that first year, we were one of the fastest growing travel companies in the UK, mainly because every other company was going backwards.
Another example of saying yes to things and succeeding.
Correct. Yeah,
And getting through the worst, literally the worst.
yeah.
So what was different about the travel franchise that made it grow while other companies were not succeeded? How were we different? Well, was it the model? Did you know in advance what it was going to be, or did you play it by ear?
So back in the day, so before we started the franchising model, we started with teletext. You're not old enough to remember teletext, Jenny,
I am.
but
I actually am.
back in the day, it was to stack it high, sell it cheap. It's the way how you bought holidays back in the day. You dialed up a 220 on ITV, and you waited for the ad to appear. You saw something you liked. You rang the phone number. You got through to somebody like us. Teletext charged us for every phone call that we received, and it cost an absolute fortune. And it was the precursor to internet, if you like. So it was to stack it high, sell it cheap. We got very, very good at selling cheap holidays. So I can teach you how to do that. It's not fun. All right. So what I can tell you is that I've done internet dating in the past, right? So I'm the king of rejection. I'm used to that, but getting rejection on the phone when you're selling holidays was not fun. So we decided there's got to be a better way, and that's where the franchising concept was born, because we thought there's got to be a better way to find customers. There's got to be a nicer way to find customers. So we pivoted. We tried various things over the years of internet marketing, building websites, selling holidays online, but it's still very cutthroat. Whereas what we did, we tried new things. We tried talking to friends and family. We tried going to networking events, wedding fairs, things like that, where you were talking to individuals, you had a relationship with people. And we found quite quickly that actually it was a much nicer way to do business. People appreciated you more, and we got much better reactions. And because of that, the business grew and grew far quicker than it ever did when we were paying for advertising. And the reality was, we probably spent a hundredth of the amount of money we used to spend on marketing, and we made 10 times as much money, bizarrely. It doesn't sound intuitive, it sounds counterintuitive, but the reality was we had more time to focus on the customer. We enjoyed what we were doing more. They enjoyed the experience with us more. And we had more customers who'd come back time and time again to book with us, because when you sell in that cheap market, people will shop around to save a pound. When you sell based on relationships and experience, people want to do business with you time and time again. And it worked so well for us. We thought, this is the model we want to franchise. This is the enjoyable way of doing business that works. This is something that we can build on.
At that time, were there many other franchises that allowed people from outside the travel industry to start their own travel franchise?
No, quite frankly. I mean, we were probably one of the first. Obviously, we'd invested in a franchise previously, but yeah, as great as they were, they gave us 2 days of training, which when you're brand new to the travel industry doesn't work. You don't know what you don't know. That's hard work. And we signed up with them, and we never heard from them again until the day we said we were leaving. So we looked at, if you were brand new to travel, what would you want? What was our experience like? What would somebody new to the industry want and need from a franchise? There wasn't really anyone else doing it, so that's what we focused on. There were other companies trying to target experienced people, but not the new to travel. But it's not just the new to travel. Typically, it's you're brand new to travel, but also maybe you've never been self-employed before. Maybe you've never sold anything before. Maybe you've never had to go and find customers. So we wanted to do something which helped everybody, because it was like, here's what we wish we had when we first got started. It's learning all those things you didn't know. We wanted to make it as simple as possible for somebody to get started, feel like they've got that comfort blanket around them, and then really help them grow, because there really wasn't anything out there like it, and arguably there's still not today.
So, started the business in recession, overcame COVID, many other disasters, volcano eruptions, and obviously we've had the mini version of a crisis this year with everything that's happened. So I guess where I'm leading with this is now a good time to join? I'm sure many people are wondering, is this a good time to join the travel industry, and why?
It is absolutely. I would say the best time to join the travel industry is now. Never waits, because there are so many people out there looking to book holidays. You've only got to just pause for a moment and think, how many people do I know who go on holiday? And there's your first customers. So never wait. Even though we've just had the Middle East crisis, arguably it's still ongoing. We've never seen so many people booking holidays as we're seeing right now. So again, as I said earlier, people change their habits. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, hugely popular destinations. You might not want to go there right now. You go to America, you go to the Caribbean, you go, so many other great destinations. Europe has never been more popular. Cruising has never been more popular. So right now, everyone's booking holidays for the summer. You might think, well, it's already the summer holidays kicking in now. The reality is, a lot of people still not booked their summer holiday. They've left it to the last minute to see what opportunity there are. They're booking them. They're booking for October. They're booking for Christmas. They're booking for next year. So, yeah, right now, and we pretty much say this all the time, because every month is a record-breaking month for us, because more and more people are booking more and more holidays. So there's ABTA, the Association of British Travel Agents, which is, we're part of ABTA. They do a survey every year, and they've said that 38% of the population want to book a holiday with somebody like us. So in the past, during pre-COVID, you might have thought, oh, I'll book online. What they've actually found is more and more people now want to talk to a human. They want to book with someone like us, who they can pick up the phone and ask a question to. They can find out, oh, this has happened. What does that mean for me? So, and the reality is, it's made us busier than ever.